Good morning, traders. Welcome to the live trading room. My apologies for the late start this morning. We have what is called load shedding in my country. Unfortunately, it's something that we cannot get away from. It is a national power crisis that we're currently experiencing. Hopefully, it's going to be solved soon. So what happens is that power is shared over a period of time between different provinces, or what some would like to call states of the country or cities, depending on how the power producer decides which area should be load shed. So that is unfortunately the crisis that we face with, but the advantage with that is there is a schedule which we are able to know beforehand what time the schedule will be. It's usually about 2 hours at a time. So we do know ahead of time that we would have a issue with power, so we can plan ahead of time. So that means we may have, from time to time, have to reschedule our sessions, but hopefully that should not affect us that much. Right, so let's get started with the analysis today. We are going to look at the US dollar pairs first. Let's have a look at the DXY. So we are anticipating a reversal on the DXY to the downside, and for the euro to continue to the downside. So this is where we are. Is that last week on Friday when we closed the market, we closed with this kind of reversal, which was very promising for a move to the downside. As you've seen here, we had this three-wave move here. We're actually already expecting the reversal to happen here, but we made a move back up here again. Even when that move was happening, we did say that we just want this to take the top here. If it takes the top and comes back, then as long as we've got divergence, look at how strong that divergence is. So that's telling us that we are going to reverse. We are also at the top here, so we are looking for this to start doing that. We are looking for that to start doing that. So do not rush it. Wait for it to confirm, and this is how it confirms. With the 4-hour candle closing below this leg here, we're going to start looking for moves to the downside. A break below this opens this for further downside. We may even get this one pulling back like this, but a break below this means we are disqualifying this as a regular flap, because if this is a regular flap, means one more up again and then downside. So we want to take it from current levels, put a stop right at the top here. This is the DXY, so I prefer to be buying the euro than to sell the DXY. I don't know if some of the platforms allows you to actually trade the DXY directly, but I prefer to just buy the euro at this stage. So this is where we are currently when we are waiting for this to play out, this three-wave structure to play out that we've been talking about for weeks, almost a whole year. As you can see, this move started from 2021. It has been building up, and we've been looking for this. Even when we were here, we were looking for this to be a three-wave structure and for this to continue downside and then upside. So that's what we've been looking for here. So it looks like this is a deeper corrective structure. We're looking for one more. We're looking for this to make one more move to the downside. But this move to the downside is a significant one before we push to the upside. Let's have a look at the euro. It should just be confirming what we're looking at. So just like the DXY, I'm only showing you on the daily. That's where it's most clearer. So we've tagged the low here as we expected. We've made that three-wave pullback here. We've made the tag of the low here, but the divergence, look at the divergence, pretty strong. We are resetting here at the bottom. We'll expect this to make a move to the upside. This is where we are with both the euro and the DXY. Why are we looking for that to reverse? So we're looking for that reversal because we're looking for this move here. The three-wave structure here that we see here, which is a WXY corrective. It's actually an ABC corrective structure. So we'll be looking for this one to make at least back to the 50%. Why at least back to the 50% and not all the way to the upside? Obviously, we are looking at this as a wave 4, and then we look for this to play out as a wave 5. So, but we are going to look for this to get back to the 50% of this first to see that it does not go up in a three-wave move. Because if it goes in a three-wave move, that means that move is not done, and we're going to have a corrective structure as follows, which is going to give us this structure. So regardless of how it moves to the upside, we are going to trade it from current levels to the upside. Let's have a look here. If we can take it a bit aggressively. So the stop loss can be about, you can put it here at 483, which is just about 90 pip. It's a 90 pip stop. So if you're expecting this to make a move of over 300 pips, so or 400 pips, the 90 pip stop is nothing, because that will still give you a risk to reward ratio of over 1 to 3. Okay, so that's what we have there. So let's look here. I'm actually going to take a trade. It's an aggressive one at current levels, and we'll look for this one to be around, the stop loss to be around. So you're taking it at current levels, stop loss to be just below the blue box. Okay, we are currently in the blue box. I'm just taking this one aggressively right now, and we'll look for a modest target to around 19, which is about the 50% of the original move here. So the risk to reward ratio with that would be about 2, which is not bad. So it's a modest target. It can even be better than that. So what we'll do is, as soon as we've got an opportunity to take it to break even, that's what we will do. Okay, so it's a 90 pip stop. If you are able to take it, you can look for that to look to take it like that. Okay, so let's have a look at this. I see my price is not visible on the 4-hour. Let's pull back on again. So entry at current levels, stop loss at about 483. Okay, so that's where we have it. That's how we have it. Got a modest target there. So let's see how that plays out. We're taking it aggressively there at current levels. That is euro US dollar. Pound US dollar, we said yesterday, we are simply looking for this to give us a 3-wave pullback, simply because we're expecting the DXY to push lower. So we'll expect pound to make a move to the upside, maybe about 100 pips. So we'll decide here what the next move is going to be for pound. So simply because we are expecting the dollar index to push lower. US dollar CAD, we currently here, we're expecting this to make a move to the downside here. This is a 3-wave pullback. We're looking for this to break to the downside. So US dollar CAD continues to the downside. US dollar CHF has been dropping for a while, and we're still expecting this to continue the drop. As you can see, we've got a very nice 3-wave structure here. We still expect the CHF to continue lower like that. Okay, so that is the CHF. Audi US dollar, we're also expecting a 3-wave pullback simply because we're expecting the dollar index to show some weakness. Also just back about 100 pips. So how this moves to the upside will determine what the long-term move is going to be to the upside. That is Audi, and New Zealand will be the same as well. So New Zealand is more convincing than the Audi and the Euro because we're seeing what looks like a 3-wave structure here. We're starting with a move to the upside. Any corrective structure here on the 1 hour, we're going to look to take this one to the upside. So if that is pushing to the upside, it's supporting the fact that we're looking for the DXY to push lower. Right now, this is our US dollar ZAR. Simply expect a 3-wave pullback here, maybe slightly bigger than this. So that would be a correction for the whole move. And then we'll look for this one to continue to the downside. A 3-wave pullback on our US dollar ZAR, that is the expectation there. All right, so Audi US dollar, not Audi US dollar, pound yen. We've made this move. We're looking for these to reverse from the blue box, which did not happen. So we've made a move down here. We are going to simply expect a 3-wave pullback and watch how this is going to play out. I've shown that if we do make this 3-wave, this pullback as 3 waves, this could be the start of the move to the downside, a bigger move to the downside. So just refer to yesterday's video as to why that would be the bigger move to the downside. Okay. So that is pound yen, US dollar yen. We are still looking for this one to be making this corrective structure here. It's the 3-wave down here. Let's use this off here. So just a continuation to the downside, slight move to the downside here to complete the structure. That will be a move like that. So it's 3 waves there, 3 waves there, 3 waves there, all aligned. So US dollar yen still looking for a move to around this level before we expect any reversal. Euro yen. But Euro yen, we expected this one to give us a 3-wave pullback as follows: 1, 2, 3. Could we start getting the reversal here now? It looks like we may, but we need to start trading about this. So if we do get that one, we'll be able to the upside. With the euro showing strength, you can find that Euro yen also actually does follow the euro in the short term. So let's see how this is going to play out. This is a nice WXY corrective structure. Let's wait for a reaction at current levels. CHF yen. Chief Yen so far has simply made a 3-wave of pullback. Will this be the continuation to the downside? We have been seeing this divergence for some time. So we want to see, is this going to make one more move to the downside and we're going to drop? But eventually we are going to drop because that divergence has been coming from around October, as you can see. Then we will be looking for this to the downside. Are we going to get one more push to the upside, or we're going to get simply a pullback? If you get a pullback like this, that will be an entry for a long term to the downside, long-term move to the downside on Chief Yen. So let's wait for what we get as a setup here on Chief. Don't rush it. Yes, it may get one more move to the upside, or we can get a setup here. Whichever one confirms first, that's how we're going to take the trade with Chief Yen. Right, Audi Yen, we've been expecting a reversal from current levels. So let's see if we're going to get at least a pullback here. And that will determine the move to the upside that we're expecting on Audi Yen. So let's see how that plays out. New Zealand, just like with New Zealand, US dollar is showing a little bit more strength than the rest. We've made a 3-wave move here in corrective structure with a running flat in the middle, and we'll be looking for this one to make at least a pushback up here after these 3 waves. Let's see how that's going to play out. Watching that, CAD Yen also making this corrective structure, waiting for it to make the bounce. Then we look for more upside. Okay, so that is CAD Yen, gold. So gold has broken to the upside as indicated last week after this structure. You saw this one during the live trading room on Friday when we were looking for gold to continue pushing to the upside. While we're still here, we've broken out. There was an opportunity for an entry in the 1 hour has pushed to the upside. We are currently correcting at these levels. That is for more upside on gold. Look for more upside on gold, look for more upside on silver. So let's see here. We've made silver is a little bit tricky because it has gone up in 3 waves. And let's see here if we're going to continue to the upside. We're going to be watching this. Platinum, we expect this to push to the upside simply because the other commodities, the hard commodities, are showing strength to the upside. So we may be looking for this to retest the top here again since our trade set up at this level. Brent crude oil, you saw this trade setup. You also saw this trade setup with a blue box setup here. Each perfect trade, we have now pushed to the upside. Look to take these trades around these levels for more upside. This was an inch perfect one, right into the blue box. Retested the blue box twice. This was a move. This was a move into the blue box. Bounces from the blue box. Retests again. Retests again, and then make a move to the upside. So textbook example of a blue box setup on Brent crude oil. Look for more upside there. Pound Audi, we've got this sharp pullback here. We'll expect this one to give us, if it's a pullback, we'll still just be building this structure, and that will mean continuation to the downside. Okay, we are bearish, pretty much bearish, and we'll be looking for this to continue to the downside. Right, so that is Pound Audi, Pound New Zealand. Just bearish. Any pullback is a continuation to the downside. And since here, Pound New Zealand, we'll be looking for this to continue to the downside. Okay, so that's what we're looking at there. Just 1 second, please. Right, so there is no end in sight for Pound New Zealand. We are still bearish, still looking for more downside there. That is Pound New Zealand. Basically, all the pound pairs are bearish. That's why you see Euro Pound pushing to the upside. We're simply going to get a pullback here on Pound CAD as well, and then we'll continue to the downside. So if you look at this, we are pretty much bearish, very well below 50, and the stock RSI is not telling you anything other than that we're still bearish here as far as the Pound CAD is concerned. Pound Chief has been dropping since right here at the top. We've all seen this one from right at the top, the pullback we saw. Excuse me, we have also seen this entry here. Every time you get continuation patterns like that, it's an opportunity to take it even lower. So I'm going to start getting some divergence, even if we do get some divergence of the 3-way the pullback. That divergence will just be giving us, it will just be for the pullback, but we'll still continue to the downside. So those are the pound pairs. Euro pound, you will see it pushing through the upside. As you can see that the pound pairs are showing some weakness. And I have shown the structure yesterday during the weekly outlook that we'll be looking for this to make an expanding threat to get to those levels. We may even get a pullback here and it goes up in 3 waves. So we're looking for this one to reach around 87 or break it higher before coming down. That is a euro pound. Euro Audi is a pullback, expect continuation to the downside. As you can see, the indicator is telling you that this is going to continue to the downside. As much as better as a pullback, we'll expect this to continue to the downside, giving us this move to the downside as 5 waves. Okay, so that is a Euro Audi and Euro New Zealand. Continues to the downside. We can get this and then downside. Look at the indicators showing us that we're going to continue to the downside. This is well below 50 and we're at the top here again. So we look for continuation to the downside on Euro New Zealand. Euro CAD also bearish. We're simply getting a pullback here. 1, 2, 3. Then we look for more downside. Look at this. This is at the top. So there is no reversal inside for Euro CAD as well as Euro Chief as well. They're following Pound Chief. They're all bearish, looking for this. Any pullback is an opportunity to take it even lower. It's just too risky now to be taking it at these levels. Imagining that we took this one from right here at 850, and we're now at about 573. That's over 300 pips. The 300 pip move on Euro Chief as well as Pound Chief. Right, so let's have a look at the crosses. There's nothing more to talk about here on Audi New Zealand. You've seen this one. We forecasted how we forecasted the move from here to here to here to here, and now into the blue box. So there's also a possibility for this to be playing out this structure, which you can look at as a Gartley pattern as well. We're going to get a bounce here. So if you get a bounce, that will be the structure of the Gartley pattern. Let's see how it goes when it gets into the blue box. We've posted this one as a trade setup, expecting it to get into the blue box in this week, and we're already there. That is Audi New Zealand. I've also detailed this one step by step from this analysis when we're still here, looking for that, looking for that, looking for that, looking for that. You can watch that on the weekly outlook if you have not already done so. Right, Audi CAD. So Audi CAD, we were looking for this one to simply give us one more up here before we get to the downside. Let's go to the 4 hour and show what we're looking for on Audi CAD. So we're looking for this one to have gone up here in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and for this one to have started with 1, 2, and then we're going to get this one as a 4 and a 5. You can call this one truncated fifth, and then we made a move to the downside. 2 ways you can look at that. Either it's a truncated fifth or the so-called AB based pattern. AB based pattern. But we won't call this an AB based pattern because it does not follow the rule. It fails to comply with the rule in that if you're looking for an AB based pattern, the B must actually touch the previous high there. Okay, the B must actually touch the previous high before we can make a move to the downside with the AB based pattern. But either way, we are looking for this one to now make a continuation pattern to the downside. We may retrace to about 50%. If you see a retracement to about 50%, you can look to take that move, that trade to the downside. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on this. So it looks very good. If we can get to 50% and this is still below 50, that would be a very nice move for downside. Audi Chief. We're expecting a reaction here. If we stay below 50 here, as much as we're expecting this one to make a reaction to the upside, we need to break above this level, okay, for us to confirm upside. Okay, so I'm looking at Audi Chief together with our chart of the week, which is New Zealand Chief. Currently, we want to see that reaction from current levels, from that current pullback. So New Zealand Chief, we're looking for this one to have made this corrective structure here as follows. 1, 2, 3, and then we look for upside here. Any consolidation around this level, we look to take it. We've already broken above 50 here as far as this is concerned, and we'll be looking for this. If you do not take it from the blue box, we'll be looking for this one to continue pushing to the upside. Okay, so we are out of the group, we're out of the above 50% here on the 4 hour as far as New Zealand Chief is concerned, and we'll be looking for this one to give us a move to the upside. Let's have a look at how this is going to play out. We were even looking for this to have made the 3 waves, and then we was going to go and do this, but let's see how this plays out. This showed us strength to the upside, and we've got a daily setup here on my New Zealand chief. So that is what we have there on New Zealand chief, a move to the upside. Pretty much promising. It's a very nice one to look at. Any entry on the 1 hour look to take New Zealand chief. Could CAT chief also follow suit? We'll only expect this to give us a 3-wave pullback on CAT chief. I mean, continuation to the downside. Right, the S&P 500, like we said yesterday, indices, all-time highs. Any pullback is just an opportunity to take one more up higher. The Dow Jones Industrial, one more move to the upside. Pullback and then upside. Same for all the indices. The Nasdaq, a move up here. These are 5 waves. You want 4 here and the 5. Okay. You saw the setup here that we had from here. We got it from the blue box. Looking for that move. It's already played out. Reached the target. So the indices, there's nothing to analyze. It's a parabolic move. What do you analyze here? There's no analysis here. It's just making a move to the upside. We're going to look for a pullback of wave 4. That is the Nasdaq UK 100. Also, we took this one from here. Took this one from here. Looking for this to get into the blue box and the upside. We're currently at this level. We want to see if that's going to be an ending diagonal there. Let's watch that one. We're still above 50 here, but that means we're still going to see more upside before any reversal. Okay, even though we do have divergence here, we can see there is divergence, but we will see one more up first before any reversal. The DAX. So DAX also looking like it's got an extended with 5 there. Looking for a continuation to the upside. Looks like it's still going to continue to the upside. There's no sign of reversal, but we will get a pullback pretty soon. The Nikkei. We're expecting this one to continue pushing to the upside. Okay, unless this is going to make a 3-wave structure here on the Nikkei, that's going to change the structure that we're looking at. We'll keep an eye on it. Lastly, the Nifty. Nifty has made a 3-wave pullback here as follows. It looks like it's going up in 3 waves. Let's see here if we're not going to get a structure like this before we make a move to the upside. All right, so that's that on the indices. Let's have a look at the cryptocurrencies. Looking pretty much bullish here on the cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin pushing up higher. We want to see Bitcoin break the previous highs. Is it going to do this structure that we were looking for? Where we are looking at this to be a 3-3 and possibly an impulse here before we push to the upside. So if we do get this move here down here, we'll look for a blue box entry here, and that will take us all the way to the upside. Either that or we're going to break above this, which is where we are currently, a break above this, any pullback on Bitcoin. Guys, if we get a corrective structure here, we take it up because I do not see that reversing again before we reach about 75,000 and 80,000 if we break out of that structure. Now, if we look at, let's have a look at, is it Shiba? Let's have a look at not Shiba, Solana. Let me just check which one is that. Solana, right? It's a similar structure to what Bitcoin is making. Look at Solana. Solana, we would have expected the same thing that is happening now currently with Bitcoin. Let's bring them both in the same screen. So bring Solana and Bitcoin, you see a lot of similarities with the current structure. So Solana on the left-hand side and Bitcoin on the right-hand side. The similarities are glaring. Look at that structure. What were we expecting with Shiba before that break? With Shiba, we were expecting that it will come to this level. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 1, and we had 3 waves here as well. 2. We're looking for Shiba to come retest here, make one more move to the downside and upside. We never got this move here to the downside to make a flat. Instead, it consolidated here and just broke to the upside. So similar to Bitcoin, we've got, look at that, 3 waves pullback, 1, 2, 3. That's got 3 waves here as a start as well. 1, 2, looking for this one to retest it. If you see Bitcoin consolidating here, put in your investments here. For the long term, we may be going for about 80,000 and maybe even 100,000 in Bitcoin going into the festive season. This could be the festive rally that we see on Bitcoin, and Solana is a very good indicator of what we may be about to see here with Bitcoin. So very interesting structures. As you can see, the similarities, very glaring similarities. All right, so that's what we have there on Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum, as we said, it is going to continue to make new highs. Let's go back to one chart. Yesterday, there's nothing new there. You can see there's a setup for continuation to the upside in the 4-hour. That's why we said Ethereum will continue to push up higher yesterday from this 4-hour setup. Looking for more upside. Cryptocurrencies bullish. The Christmas rally may be starting here already. Litecoin, as you can see here, we had a 4-hour setup here as well. Looking for this to continue to push to the upside. Litecoin is kind of structure like this. We're looking for this to go retest the previous highs as 240. We started with these on Litecoins. All structures in the cryptos very, very clear. At least we should see 240 back again on Litecoin. If we're going to get one more move to the downside, but as you've seen Solana, and as you've seen that Bitcoin is possibly duplicating the Solana structure, we may see that this just pushes to the upside without that making that flat. Ripple flying higher this morning. Okay. So what are we looking at Ripple? It's the same structure that I've shown yesterday. We're looking for this to be making the 3 waves to at least retest the recent high here at 140. We've started with this move here. That's 3-3. Could we see Ripple push to the upside? Or can we see Ripple make one more move to the downside? For now, that doesn't matter. We just want to see Ripple back at 140 again. Okay, so bullish all around. Dogecoin looking very good this morning. Let's have a look at to see what the structure is going to be. We were looking for this one to have made this structure here on Dogecoin 1, 2, 3, and for this to make one leg to the downside. So this may be the 3 waves here, and we may be looking for another 3 waves to the upside to come and retest this level here. So giving us this as a 1, 2, 3 wave structure. Just like the others, we're expecting that we can have one leg down here before we push to the upside. But what we're seeing here is that they're not respecting these recent highs, and they might just go all the way to retest the previous highs. Okay, so all bullish. ADA, we're looking we're also looking for this one to make a move like this. So it's just pretty messy here at the bottom, but the bigger structure on ADA is this one here. We've got this 3 here, we've got this pullback here, and we've got this one as a 3. We're simply looking for this to reverse from here and give us a move to the upside. We'll wait for a clear setup here before we enter a trade here on ADA. Otherwise, looking for this to go to the all-time highs eventually as well. I've already looked at Solana. Solana has already broken its all-time highs here, consolidating the similar structure to what we expect Bitcoin to do. So currently here, we'll expect this to continue to the upside. It's off to the races. Solana is up off to the races. Now just waiting for Bitcoin to do the same. Right, Shiba. So Shiba, guys, what is interesting about Shiba is that we have got what looks like a very nice setup right here, right now on the 4-hour, and it looks like Shiba is a good one to buy right now. So we'll be looking for this one. As long as it closes above this, Shiba may have started the move here. Remember, the bigger structure on Shiba is this here. So if it is this is the structure, Shiba may be starting to move to the upside here as follows. And just like the others, is it going to give us one more move to the downside, or we're just going to go straight up from here? But that does not matter if we get a setup from current levels. You can see here, RSI is above 50. This is below. This is at the bottom as resetted. So very good looking setups here. I will wait for them to confirm convincingly before we enter these trades. But otherwise, looking very good in the crypto space. One of the altcoins that I've recently put my money on was XLM, as I told you guys a couple of days ago. I've actually put in money on the XLM around the beginning of November when it was giving us this 4-hour setup. So made a move, and we've been in this corrective structure here again, but still expecting this to go and retest the previous highs. You can see all these structures are all similar. So we just want to see the previous highs being broken here, being retested, and we could see higher moves. So look at this expanding flat here. We've got this one doing that 1, 2, 3 here. So with XLM Lumen, we may be looking for this one to go and hit the previous highs at $42 there, and possibly even higher. Either higher, or we're going to make one more move down. But as I've been saying throughout, these moves don't look like they will happen, and we're just going to go in the straight and up in a straight line and into the festive season with the bullish moves in the cryptocurrencies. So trade responsibly. That's all I have for you this morning. And don't forget, LTA will be starting in about 30 minutes because we started LTR a bit late this morning. Have a great day, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow, same time. Cheers, everybody. Not same time, apologies. Well, during our normal time, which is 8 a.m. GMT. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.